There's a moment in your life you'll never forget. Because it's not just a moment, it's a reset. You'll remember exactly where you were when it happened. Maybe you were lying awake in the dark, feeling completely disconnected. Maybe you were walking alone, asking the universe for a sign. Or maybe you were drowning in so much noise that you finally surrendered and said, "I can't keep doing it this way." And then something shifted. You felt your heart beat not just as a physical pulse, but as a signal. You felt your breath sink with a deeper rhythm. And in that instant, you weren't thinking about changing your life, you were the change. That's what happens when the heart and brain come into coherence. It's not a metaphor. It's a physiological phenomenon. And once you master it, your entire vibration changes. Your reality begins to respond in ways so precise, so powerful, it will feel like a miracle. But it's not a miracle. It's alignment. We've all heard that everything is energy. But what most people don't realize is that energy has intelligence. The body is not just a bundle of nerves and cells, it's a broadcasting system. It's constantly sending signals into the field. And the most powerful transmitter in your body is not your brain, it's your heart. The heart has its own neural network. It sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. And when those signals are chaotic, your vibration becomes incoherent. But when your heart and brain sync into rhythm, your entire electromagnetic field shifts from static to signal. You don't just feel better, you become magnetic. You become sovereign. You stop reacting and start broadcasting. You stop surviving and start creating. Let me ask you something that could change everything. Have you been trying to think your way into a new life while your heart is still vibrating in survival? Most of us are. We try to solve problems with logic while our bodies are locked in stress. We visualize abundance while feeling unworthy. We affirm our goals while our nervous system is still anticipating danger. The result? Mixed signals. You say you want peace, but your body's broadcasting fear. You say you want love, but your heart's still armored. That's not your fault. It's programming. But coherence is the antidote. Because coherence doesn't just make you feel good, it opens the door to a new dimension of being.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
So what is heart-brain coherence really? It's the measurable synchronization between the rhythm of your heart and the patterns of your brain waves. It's when your breath, your intention, and your emotional state come into resonance. And that resonance creates a signal so clear, so strong, that the universe cannot ignore it. You become a living prayer, a walking activation, a lighthouse in a storm. And unlike most techniques that require effort, heart-brain coherence requires only presence. You don't have to perform, you just have to feel. You don't have to fix anything, you just have to sync. The process is simple, but not always easy. It starts with breath slow, deep, and rhythmic, not to control your body, but to create safety. Because when your breath slows, your nervous system shifts from fight or flight into peace. That's step one. Then you bring your attention to your heart. Not just thinking about your heart, but feeling from it. You imagine breathing in and out through the center of your chest. That's step two. And then here's the key: you generate an elevated emotion. Gratitude, appreciation, compassion, love. Not because something good happened, but because you choose to live from that state. That's step 3. And when you hold that state for even 3 minutes, a shift begins. Your brainwaves smooth out. Your heart rate variability increases. Your field expands. And reality begins to bend. Now here's where the magic happens. When you practice this consistently, day after day, you're not just improving your mood, you're reprogramming your baseline frequency. You're teaching your body that the new normal is peace, not tension. You're teaching your nervous system that it's safe to open. You're teaching your mind that it doesn't have to control everything. And in return, the universe starts giving you feedback. People treat you differently. Solutions appear. Synchronicities multiply. You're not chasing, you're attracting. Not because you changed your life, but because you changed your vibration, and your life responded. Let me tell you a story. One man was stuck in deep depression. He had tried everything: therapy, medication, affirmations, podcasts. Nothing shifted. One day he stumbled onto a simple heart coherence technique. He tried it skeptically. Just 3 minutes of breathing into his heart and feeling gratitude. Nothing dramatic happened at first, but something subtle did. That night, he slept better than he had in months. The next day, he did it again and again. Within 2 weeks, his mood lifted. Within a month, he had a breakthrough idea that changed his career. Within 3 months, his relationships, business, and energy field were unrecognizable. What changed? His vibration. What caused it? Coherence. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to sync everything. That's the gift of HeartBrain coherence. It doesn't demand perfection. It invites alignment. And when you live from alignment, you stop looking for signs because you become the sign. Your presence becomes medicine. Your energy becomes contagious. Your life becomes proof that peace is not passive, it's power. But let's go even deeper. There's something mystical that happens when you sustain coherence long enough. You begin to access intuition in real time. You make decisions with clarity, not anxiety. You recognize truth by feeling, not overthinking. You begin to speak from a place that's not rehearsed but revealed. That's because coherence doesn't just shift your mood, it opens the channel. It activates your connection to higher intelligence. Some call it the soul. Some call it source. Some call it the quantum field. Whatever name you give it, it becomes more accessible the more coherent you become. So here's a question for your soul. What would your life look like if you lived in sustained coherence for the next 90 days? What would shift in your body, your relationships, your finances, your purpose? Not from effort, but from frequency? Are you willing to find out? Because this isn't a theory. This is a daily practice. And it works for anyone who's ready to stop surviving and start resonating. Remember, heart-brain coherence is not a spiritual shortcut. It's a spiritual discipline. It requires consistency, not intensity. You don't need to sit for an hour. Even 5 minutes in the morning can begin to rewire your field. Do it when you wake up. Do it before a conversation. Do it before you sleep. Let it become your home frequency. And soon, you'll notice that your external life begins to reflect your internal coherence. not just once, but over and over. You are not here to fight your way through life. You are here to tune your way through it. The more coherent your signal, the clearer the response. That is the dance. That is the invitation. That is the gift. When we begin to live from heart-brain coherence, we realize how much of our previous life was built on autopilot reactions. Our actions, our words, even our dreams, many of them were being filtered through survival programs wired into us by stress, trauma, and conditioning. But coherence is the reset button. It doesn't erase your past, it reorders your energy so your past no longer controls your future. You begin to respond instead of react. You begin to choose instead of cope. You begin to become instead of perform. And this shift is not just spiritual, it's biological. Your brain starts creating new neural pathways. Your immune system strengthens. Your body heals. And your life begins to reflect something radically different: ease. This is where the true power lies. Most people think vibration is about just raising your energy. But high energy without coherence is like static on a radio. It's loud, but it's not clear. Clarity matters more than volume, and coherence gives you both. It aligns your electromagnetic field so that what you feel, what you think, and what you do are all speaking the same language. That's when the universe listens. That's when manifestation becomes natural. Because you're no longer sending mixed signals. You're not asking for abundance while vibrating in fear. You're not asking for love while vibrating in self-protection. You're not asking for clarity while vibrating in overwhelm. You're tuned, you're clear, you're ready. Now let's talk about practical integration. Because knowing this won't change your life, doing it will. And the beauty is, it only takes minutes. You don't need to climb a mountain or wait for a full moon. You just need presence. Start with 3 minutes in the morning. Sit quietly. Place your hand on your heart. Slow your breath to 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Feel your body soften. Then summon an elevated emotion. Don't force it. Just remember a moment, any moment where you felt truly grateful or deeply loved. Let that feeling expand. Let it fill your chest. Now hold that emotional state while breathing. You've just entered coherence. And that signal is now being broadcast into the quantum field. This isn't about escaping your problems. Coherence doesn't ignore reality, it reorganizes it. The more you live in this state, the less you're controlled by outer chaos. It's not that life gets easier. It's that you get clearer. You're no longer destabilized by what happens outside of you. Because what's inside of you is anchored. That's when people start saying things like, "I don't know what you're doing, but you've changed." That's when opportunities start finding you. Not because of luck, but because coherence is magnetic. It draws to you everything that matches your signature. And when your signature is peace, love, and clarity, your life begins to organize itself around those frequencies. Let's go even deeper. One of the lesser-known benefits of heart-brain coherence is time distortion. When you're incoherent, time feels fast, overwhelming, chaotic. When you're coherent, time slows. You find yourself more present, more capable, more creative. You stop rushing. You start enjoying. You become efficient without being frantic. This is because coherence activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of you that allows repair, rest, and integration. And from that state, you make better decisions. You see opportunities others miss. You become the calm in the storm, and people feel that. They trust it. Because coherence is not just a private experience, it's a relational gift. Have you ever wondered why some people walk into a room and instantly change the energy? It's not charisma. It's coherence. It's not about being loud. It's about being aligned. When your heart and brain are synced, your field becomes a sanctuary. People feel safer around you. They open up. They lean in. Not because you said the perfect words, but because your energy is broadcasting safety. So ask yourself, what if your greatest impact in this life isn't what you do, but the energy you hold while doing it? Now let's address something that will inevitably come up: emotional triggers. Even with daily coherence practice, life will test you. Someone will cut you off. Someone will say something that wounds you. You'll get bad news, and your body will want to go back into survival. That's normal. But here's the difference. You now have the tools to shift. In that moment, pause. Breathe. Bring your attention to your heart. And remember, your power is not in the trigger. It's in your response. You can return to coherence at will. And the more you do it, the faster it becomes. You're not just reacting to life anymore. You're leading your vibration. This is mastery, not perfection. Mastery means you fall out of alignment, but you return faster each time. It means you catch yourself before the spiral. It means you become aware of the moment the signal gets fuzzy and you choose to tune back in. And that choice, repeated over and over, becomes identity. You stop identifying as someone who's anxious, reactive, or overwhelmed. You start identifying as someone who carries peace, clarity, and trust. Not as a mask, but as your natural state. And from that place, you begin to access something even more extraordinary: co-creation. You begin to realize that the world is not happening to you, it's happening through you. Your vibration shapes your reality. Your coherence creates the field. And when you broadcast a signal of peace, the world responds in kind. You meet more aligned people. You experience more flow. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, again and again. And it's not luck. It's physics. It's resonance. Let's pause here and ask something that goes beyond the mind. What if your entire life experience is just a mirror of your coherence level? What if the external chaos is simply reflecting internal static? And what if peace was never something to earn, but something to return to? Could you allow that much responsibility? Could you accept that much power? Because that's what this is, a return to your power. Not the kind that controls, but the kind that creates. The kind that doesn't need to force because it commands with frequency. That's what coherence gives you. It gives you the power to shape your reality without shouting, pushing, or chasing. It gives you the ability to shift timelines just by shifting your state. And that, my friend, is the greatest gift of all. When you begin to live in daily coherence, something incredible unfolds. You stop waiting for external permission to feel good. You stop giving away your power to outcomes, circumstances, or people's opinions. You realize that the vibration you hold is not a result of what's happening out there. It's a reflection of what you choose to access within. This is one of the greatest spiritual secrets hidden in plain sight. Coherence is not a reward for a perfect life. It is the cause of a life that begins to feel aligned, rich, and meaningful. The more you choose to live from this state, the more you'll see how unnecessary the struggle always was. You'll look back and wonder why you ever believed that stress was required, that effort had to equal exhaustion, or that the path to peace had to be earned. In truth, coherence is your natural state. It's what happens when you remove the interference. This is why healing accelerates in coherence. Your cells respond to frequency. Your immune system, your hormones, your digestion, your brain chemistry, they are all listening to the signal of your dominant emotional state. When you live in anxiety, your body prepares for danger. When you live in coherence, your body prepares for regeneration. And that's not just a theory, it's measurable. Heart rate variability increases, inflammation decreases, sleep improves, intuition sharpens, creativity flows. And perhaps most importantly, you become emotionally resilient. You no longer collapse at the first sign of difficulty. You breathe, you regulate, you return. Let's talk about that return, because it's everything. The return to coherence is your spiritual homecoming. It's the moment you remember who you really are, not the roles you play, not the wounds you carry, not the story you've been repeating, but the awareness behind it all. The one who can choose, the one who can observe, the one who can love deeply, even in pain. And from that place, you start creating your life with intention. You start asking better questions. Not why is this happening to me, but what am I being invited to remember? Not how do I get what I want, but how do I become the version of me who already has it? And the answer is always the same, through coherence. You begin to see life not as a series of random events, but as a vibrational feedback system. You recognize that every experience is showing you your signal. And instead of trying to change the world, you change your state. You stop trying to control others, and you refine your own energy. You stop reacting to chaos, and you become the field of calm. And the more you live this way, the more you realize that coherence is not just a personal gift, it's a global one. Because when you enter coherence, you affect everything around you. Your field becomes more ordered, and that order stabilizes others. Science has shown that the heart's electromagnetic field can extend several feet beyond the body, and that it can influence the fields of others. This means that your inner peace doesn't just bless you, it blesses your family, your community, your environment. Your coherence becomes a silent revolution. It becomes the medicine this world has been searching for. No preaching, no pushing, just presence, just frequency, just love in motion. Now ask yourself something only you can answer. Who would I be if I no longer needed stress to feel alive? Who would I be if I no longer used anxiety to feel in control? Who would I be if I stopped outsourcing my vibration to external circumstances and started cultivating it from within? These questions are not meant to be answered with your mind. They are meant to be lived with your heart. And the moment you begin to live those answers, the shift begins. It's important to understand that coherence is not about suppressing emotion. It's not about pretending to be calm. It's about becoming so intimate with your inner world that nothing within you is rejected. You feel the fear, but you don't let it hijack your breath. You feel the anger, but you don't let it close your heart. You feel the grief, but you don't abandon yourself. That's coherence. Not bypassing, but presence. Not perfection, but integration. You become the space where all of you is welcome, and in that space, healing happens. And this is where coherence becomes sacred, because it reconnects you to the divine intelligence that's been waiting to work through you. When your heart and brain are in sync, you become a conduit for miracles. You receive guidance that bypasses logic. You access strength that doesn't come from effort. You feel connected to something greater, not as a belief, but as a direct experience. And that connection changes everything. It gives you courage to follow your path. It gives you faith to keep going when results haven't shown up yet. It gives you joy that doesn't depend on anything outside of you. Let's say this clearly: coherence is not a technique. It's a way of life. It's a commitment to return to your center as often as needed. It's a decision to live in alignment, even when chaos surrounds you. It's a choice to cultivate peace, not because life is easy, but because peace is the most intelligent response. You don't need to be a monk. You don't need to escape the world. You just need to remember who you are, tune your signal, and lead from the heart. You might be wondering, how do I keep this going when life gets hard? The answer is practice, repetition, gentle discipline. Make coherence a ritual. Anchor it into your mornings. Return to it in your afternoons. Close your day with it at night. Let your breath become your guide. Let your heart become your compass. Let your frequency become your strategy. You don't need to figure it all out. You just need to feel it all in. Coherence isn't something you chase. It's something you choose. And as you keep choosing it, day after day, life begins to reflect your choice. You'll notice less resistance, more flow, less confusion, more clarity, less fear, more trust. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Your vibration shifted. Your nervous system stabilized. Your signal became clean. And the universe responded not as a reward, but as a mirror. This is the gift. This is the secret. This is the invitation. You don't have to wait until everything falls apart to come home to coherence. You can come home now, with a breath, with a beat, with a choice. You are the signal. You are the field. You are the frequency. And the world is ready for who you become when you remember that.